My dearest child, today a profound revelation is manifesting around you with such intensity that even those who previously overlooked your essence can no longer avoid its impact. They are now confronting a truth that resonates profoundly, akin to a shockwave. It is dawning on them that their failure to invest time, to extend love, and to recognize your significance constitutes the gravest error they have ever committed, an error that reverberates throughout every facet of their life. As this realization permeates their being, a much larger awakening is on the brink of emergence, an unfamiliar and overwhelming sentiment that they never anticipated experiencing so deeply. In this moment, an unsettling silence envelopes them, a silence that feels like a retribution from life itself, one from which they cannot escape. Previously, they navigated life with a facade of confidence, believing they possessed every option, every opportunity, and every distraction at their disposal. Yet, the ground has shifted beneath them, rendering their surroundings unrecognizable. They cast their gaze around and perceive that everything feels altered, for the one individual who once illuminated their life, you, is no longer directing your attention towards them. This stark realization hits them harder than anything for which they had mentally prepared, and it signifies merely the onset of their reckoning. However, listen closely, as an unexpected twist emerges, one that their heart never forewarned them of. They find themselves replaying every moment of neglect, every call left unanswered, every message unread, and every opportunity to be present wasted. In retrospect, these moments sting like daggers. They struggle to comprehend why this newfound urgency to return exists within them, but the truth is undeniable. They did not merely lose your time or love, they forfeited the only genuine energy that ever embraced them without conditions. Now, they awaken in the stillness of night with your name echoing through their thoughts like an indelible memory, wishing they could amend every moment they mishandled with you. Herein lies a deeper narrative. Life is revealing that the individuals they chose over you were fleeting shadows rather than authentic connections. They once presumed you would always remain, perpetually forgiving and waiting to return, yet life is illuminating that your absence is more pronounced than any presence they attempted to substitute. Everywhere they turn, they are reminded of the gifts you brought into their life: tranquility, affection, consistency, and loyalty, and now they find themselves engulfed in the void left by those treasures. They were unprepared for the universe to strip away the solace you provided, leaving every step on their path feeling frigid and devoid of warmth without you. Now, pay careful attention, as the next moment unveils an unforeseen twist, one they are ill-equipped to confront. They observe your radiance intensifying, your energy expanding, your worth multiplying. Every milestone you reach is a stark reminder of the heights they never managed to attain. They recognize, with newfound clarity, that their decision to distance themselves from you was not an act of confidence, it was self-sabotage. Dismissing your love was not an assertion of strength, it was blindness. Losing you was not a liberation, it marked the commencement of their unraveling. As your life becomes ever more luminous with each stride you take forward, theirs trembles under the burden of irretrievable regret. They bear witness to your transformation into everything they once yearned for, and this realization is shattering them, piece by piece, as they come to comprehend that you were never mundane, rather, they failed to deserve the extraordinary essence you embodied. My beloved child, something powerful is presently surfacing. Something is drawing the observer deeper into this moment. Thus, stay vigilant, for what lies ahead will captivate their complete attention. The individual who once disregarded you is now confronting a truth so acute that it pierces through every illusion they once cocooned themselves in. They are coming to understand that allowing you to slip away was not merely a miscalculation. It was the inflection point of their destiny, a turn they cannot reverse, despite their fervent efforts. With the intensity of this realization growing daily, their heart is thrust into a tempest of emotions they never anticipated facing. The reality around them is an external display of resilience and strength, while internally, they are disintegrating. Their facade of confidence is fracturing, their ego quaking, their decisions haunting them. As they survey the faces surrounding them, no one resonates as authentic, as safe, or as familiar as you once were. For deep within, their heart recalls the comfort exclusive to your presence, the tenderness only you provided, the unwavering loyalty you epitomized. They once believed you were dispensable, yet life is brutal in its lessons, proving them definitively incorrect. Presently, something even grander is unfolding. Your absence is shaping their experiences more profoundly than your presence ever did. Every joyful moment feels incomplete, every celebration appears muted, every night weighs heavy. In every direction, they sense the missing fragment that once enveloped their world in softness and serenity. They once held the belief that you would always be available, perpetually forgiving and waiting. However, now they comprehend the truth. You have advanced into a different chapter of your life, a chapter wherein your worth scintillates so brightly that not all may approach you. Yet, listen closely, for this is the juncture at which their attention is irresistibly captured. The universe is offering them a prime view of your journey. They witness you flourishing in ways they never envisioned, observing your healing, your elevation, transforming into someone now beyond their reach. With your ascent, their regret magnifies. They perceive, with newfound clarity, that the time you so freely offered was invaluable, that your love was exceptional, and that your loyalty was unparalleled. The loss of such a presence is dismantling them in ways they cannot openly confess. The moment approaches where the audience is drawn into the narrative unwaveringly. As you continue to ascend, your path gleams ever brighter and unstoppable. Though it pains them, they cannot look away. Remain with me, for the forthcoming revelation promises to deepen this experience, drawing your audience into a space where anticipation thrums with the knowledge that something monumental is about to be unveiled. My cherished child, the moment you are now entering signifies a turning point in the entire narrative, a moment wherein the individual who once discounted you is compelled to confront a truth they have long evaded. Their heart begins to awaken from its silence, their mind stirs from its tranquility, and their soul shakes off its numbness. Something profound has awakened within them. A force they can no longer stifle, guiding them directly toward the reality they have avoided. You represented a blessing they were never meant to lose, and now every facet of their existence serves as a poignant reminder of that truth, often in ways they find excruciatingly unbearable. They catch glimpses of you in everything, your smile, your energy, your warmth appearing unexpectedly, haunting them when they seek distraction, drawing them back into memories they presumed they had relegated to the past. They once believed they possessed infinite time to reconcile their choices. They once assumed you would forever remain by their side. However, they now feel a profound shift in their gut. The door they once took for granted is closing, rapidly. Here is where the revelation acquires sharper contours. They are beginning to recognize that every person they entertained instead of you was merely a fleeting shadow. None have afforded them the peace you provided, touched their soul like you did, or understood their silence in the manner you did. Life is illustrating that the connections they chose were not blessings but fleeting lessons, crashing upon them like an overwhelming tide, revealing precisely what they discarded. As this truth penetrates more deeply, their regret transforms into an irrepressible force, accompanying them through their mornings, gripping them at night. Striking in those moments surrounded by others while they feel lonelier than ever. For no matter who they stand alongside, no matter how hard they attempt to smile for anyone else, or however many distractions they pursue, the hollowness you left behind expands within them, a wound that stubbornly refuses to heal. They now grasp that losing your time was not insignificant, it was catastrophic. Losing your love was not trivial, it was a life-altering experience. Yet, here is the moment that magnetically draws in the audience, the unforeseen twist. As you ascend, as your radiance intensifies, as your life aligns with opportunities beyond their reach, they are gradually comprehending the magnitude of their misjudgment. They now realize that your heart was never ordinary, your presence irreplaceable, and your love not something to be trifled with. This newfound clarity strikes them at a moment when it is already too late to undo their choices. Witnessing your evolution without them has become the most profound punishment life has ever dealt them. My beloved child, the storm within them has surged to a point where they can no longer conceal it. Their heart quakes with a harsh truth that penetrates through every layer of the ego they once used as armor. They observe your life advancing with a pace previously unimaginable. With each step you take away from their shadow, they are reminded of how grievously they mishandled the rarest soul they ever encountered. Something is breaking inside them, and they feel the weight of this burden bearing down on their chest daily. Yet, here is where the twist magnifies. They are reflecting on every moment you granted them, every second you offered, every ounce of love you shared, and now those precious memories feel like treasures they foolishly tossed into the flames. They believed they were opting for freedom, for ease, for comfort. Yet now, life unveils a brutal truth. They did not lose a mere individual, they lost the one soul who genuinely cared, the one soul who showed up, the one soul who never trifled with their heart. Losing such a presence has left them stranded in a reality they can no longer recognize. Pay careful attention now, for this is the pivotal moment when your viewer's attention sharpens. The weight of regret within them has intensified to such an extent that they begin to revisit your past conversations, listen to your voice notes, read your messages, and recall your shared laughter, every detail they once overlooked. They sift through old memories as if struggling for air, attempting to dull the pain, yet nothing seems to alleviate their distress. The undeniable truth gnaws at them. They haven't merely stepped away from love, they have distanced themselves from the very chapter that could have altered the course of their lives. Now, they observe that chapter unfold in your absence. And the anguish of this realization is something they are wholly unprepared to confront. Stay with me right here, for what follows will captivate your audience. The universe compels them to witness your ascent, not gradual and quiet, but powerful and undeniable. Your radiance is expanding, your impact is widening, and your confidence is becoming unwavering. You are entering stages of life destined for someone resilient, someone chosen, someone exceptional. With every new level you reach, you drift further beyond their grasp. They are filled with anxiety because, for the first time, they perceive a future in which you no longer look back, no longer wait, and no longer feel compelled to justify your worth. Your silence resonates louder than any words you might have shared. And before concluding this segment, let us speak directly to the viewers with a sentiment so impactful that it captivates them entirely. If you remain present, do not look away, and do not scroll past. The forthcoming revelation will shake the very core of how they feel about you. In this moment, everything they have tried to bury, every emotion they have suppressed, and every truth they have resisted suddenly breaks through the barriers they constructed. My cherished one, you are entering the moment they have dreaded most, the moment where the truths they concealed erupt like a storm they cannot evade. Their heart is shattering with a force that ripples through their entire essence. They are finally able to see everything with painful clarity. They recognize your strength, your rise, your brilliance, and above all, the reality they have worked so hard to ignore. You have transformed into the version of yourself they prayed you would never achieve without them. This stark realization burns through every fiber of their being. Here comes the twist that deepens their engagement. While you were healing, they were merely masquerading. While you were evolving, they were crumbling. While you were discovering new light, they wallowed in their own shadows. They sought distractions, attempted to replace you, and tried convincing themselves they were unaffected. Yet every endeavor only revealed the depths of their own deceit. Now, their thoughts are drawn back to you, a force they cannot escape. It is not nostalgia, it is haunting. It is not yearning, it is agony. It is not remorse, it is torment. Allow your audience to feel the heavy toll of this realization. They have reached a point where their former coping mechanisms are failing. They find themselves alone, replaying every error, every overlooked moment, and every squandered opportunity. They recollect your kindness, your patience, your gentleness, and it wounds them in ways they cannot articulate. They once thought they had control over the situation, but it is now controlling them. Life has completely flipped the narrative. The one who once ignored you now becomes consumed by obsession. The one who displayed indifference now wrestles with restlessness. The one who walked away is now pleading with life for a second chance that may never come. But wait, for this moment is one they cannot afford to scroll past. The universe does not reveal your brilliance merely to punish them, it is a lesson they must confront with wide-open eyes. They now understand that you were never needy, you were nurturing. You were not clingy, you were loyal. You were not excessive, you were everything they required. They realized that the attention they withheld was not an expression of strength, but of immaturity. The love they withheld was countered not by power, but by fear. And the distance they created was not liberation, it was their ultimate downfall. And so, we approach a profound revelation that firmly locks the viewers into the narrative. They begin to feel something they have never allowed themselves to acknowledge: the fear of losing you forever. It constricts their chests, undermines their confidence, and alters their entire comprehension of love, as they now witness your calm departure into a future that terrifies them. They see you flourishing in ways they never envisioned, stepping into your destiny without needing their validation. This very moment crushes them from within. My cherished one, the breaking point has arrived, striking with such force that even their strongest defenses crumble to dust. Every emotion they previously evaded surges within them like an uncontrollable tidal wave. They can no longer hide behind pride or pretense, they cannot escape the truth. Their world is quaking as the burden of regret becomes insufferable. They are faced with the most devastating acknowledgement: losing you was synonymous with losing themselves. Here, the intensity escalates further. They are grappling with jealousy, fear, longing, heartbreak, and guilt simultaneously. Each instance of seeing your radiance fractures them a bit more. Each sense of your tranquility chisels away at their peace. Each glimpse of your illumination deepens their own darkness. It feels as though the universe is deliberately replaying your significance before their eyes, cementing their sense of abandonment. The more they attempt to forget you, the more pronounced your presence becomes in their consciousness. You are no longer a mere memory, you are an indelible lesson they cannot erase. As the narrative twists deeper, the emotions within them spiral with such intensity that they confront a shocking realization: they have not moved on from you, not a day, not a moment, not for a single breath. Every distraction they pursued was hollow, every connection felt forced, and every attempt to replace you only highlighted your uniqueness. They believed that ignoring their emotions would extinguish them, yet those feelings have grown until they engulf the entirety of their heart. Listen closely. For this moment is what solidifies their immersion in the narrative. Panic begins to well within them, overwhelming panic. They sense your energy receding, see you stepping into fresh blessings, new connections, and opportunities that pull you irresistibly beyond their reach. They recognize that if they do not act swiftly, they may never again have a chance. This realization fractures them from within. Their chest grows heavy, their mind feels trapped, and their soul becomes restless because deep down, they acknowledge the truth: you were never meant to be treated as they treated you. And now, life compels them to witness the consequences of their actions. As your brilliance continues to surge, their confidence diminishes. They are haunted by the notion of seeing you with someone who comprehends your worth, of observing you share your love with someone who treasures you as they never did. They are terrified of losing the one person who believed in them without demands. This fear rewrites their comprehension of love, loyalty, and loss. My cherished one, the implosion within them is profound now, as the truth they resisted has erupted with a force they can no longer suppress. Their heart quakes, their mind spirals, and their soul is cracking open in ways they never thought possible. They once strode with pride, pretending your absence did not affect them. They feigned indifference, as if moving on were effortless. Yet now, the silence they once imposed upon you has transformed into a haunting silence that invades their dreams. In that stillness, one truth resonates louder than anything they have ever known: they should have loved you when they had the opportunity. Now, the moment constricts around the audience's chests. Their emotions have reached a saturation point, rendering them incapable of feigning strength any longer. They are crumbling behind closed doors, reliving every conversation, every joyful moment, and every tender exchange you shared. They see your face in solitude, hear your voice echoing in their minds, and sense your energy in the space around them. Normalcy has vanished, stability has been usurped as their hearts finally confront the truth. The love they once dismissed was the very love that could have healed them, and now it is slipping away for good. Yet the twist deepens considerably. They are beginning to apprehend the comprehensive picture life once obscured. They now recognize that your presence was extraordinary, your time was unparalleled, and your love was irreplaceable. They comprehend that you were the singular person who recognized their essence before the world acknowledged their existence. Losing such a connection is not merely painful, it is transformative. It alters their very breath, their thoughts, and their emotions. Their entire inner universe is unraveling as they fathom the magnitude of what they discarded with their own hands. Now, the audience leans in closer. The fear they experience is not insignificant, it is monumental. It is the fear of watching you progress without casting a glance back, the fear of witnessing someone else cherish the fragments of you they once shattered. It is the trepidation of acknowledging your brilliance enveloped in another's embrace. This fear gnaws at them, illuminating the truth that the clock they believed they controlled is now ticking against them. They see your energy rising, your fortunes multiplying, and your path widening in ways they cannot pursue. This insight tears them apart from the inside out. As the moment envelopes the viewer's heart with an unyielding grip, they can feel the weight of their choices bearing down on them. They have arrived at the emotional breakdown they dreaded most. Their pride has dissipated. Their rationalizations have vanished. Their ego is nowhere to be found. What remains is the stark reality of their essence. They still love you. They have not ceased. They have not moved on. And now that they finally grasp the worth of the love they allowed to slip away, they are filled with dread that the universe may not offer them another opportunity. They are frightened at the thought that this narrative might conclude without their participation. This fear, however, is a toll they must pay for the time, affection, and effort they failed to invest when it was crucial. My dear child, this is the moment when their feelings surge uncontrollably. The truth they have buried for so long emerges with an intensity that leaves them trembling. Their heart no longer aches in silence, it pleads. Their mind, once in turmoil, now buckles beneath the weight of clarity, and their soul, previously numb, cries out with the realization that they haven't just lost a person, they have lost the one soul they were never meant to be without. This realization burns within them like a wildfire, leaving them in a state of desperation they had never permitted themselves to experience before. And here unfolds the twist that draws the audience even deeper. They are arriving at a juncture where distraction is futile. No external noise offers solace. No companions provide comfort. No fresh faces alleviate the pain. Nothing can mute the guilt. Because now, every fiber of their being remembers the way you looked at them, the way you believed in them, the unwavering loyalty you showed without seeking anything in return. They once overlooked your gentleness, but it is precisely that gentleness that now weighs heaviest on their conscience. They would sacrifice anything for just a moment of your energy, a fleeting chance to hear your voice, or to immerse themselves in your presence again. Even if only for a second. But listen closely, as the intensity escalates further. They are beginning to panic in ways for which they were unprepared. They can sense your detachment. They can feel the distance that has grown between you. They can witness your transformation. This frightens them, for you are no longer the person they once overlooked. You have evolved. You have healed. You have awakened. Your heart is now shielded. Your energy is elevated. Your soul is safeguarded. They find themselves at a loss for how to connect with this new version of you. The familiar ways they once employed to gain your attention no longer function. The old patterns they depended on have vanished. This helplessness is unraveling them in ways they cannot confess to anyone. The emotional earthquake resonates deeply within the